Not only do the old stones provide a walk along the century of the fort, it also provides an elevated and quiet view of the city. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to this edition of Borders on Budgets. On this episode, we are in Maputo, Mozambique, where, to my pleasant surprise, this capital is cleaner, quieter, and more orderly than anticipated. A slog of a hike. I'm nuclear free. Tree branch or part of a log. Jarka. Sweat. The ideal spot to show Maputo's tranquility is the Jardim Tunduru in the center of the capital. Okay, this is Monday mid-afternoon and not the weekend, so not a peak time for a garden's popularity. Still, even this scene can show how clean and quiet Maputo is. Maybe I shouldn't stand directly under a batch of bats. I've never seen bats in the daylight, and certainly not like the numbers here in Maputo's Jardim Tunduru. The way they squeak, it's almost as if bats are like mice with wings. Well, specifically, this actually is a bat sanctuary. Besides the large bounty of bats, the garden also contains a lot of large trees. With Mozambique's status previously as a colony under Portugal, most of the trees in Tunduru come from the Portuguese-speaking world that includes Brazil and parts of Africa. Sure, a garden's going to be quiet, but what about the city center? Is really Maputo that tranquil, that orderly, that clean? Let's go take a look at one of the main roundabouts. No sooner did I finish that last stand-up that this local said, "Welcome to Maputo."
Because most people are always working, trying to get their money to survive. So that's why at these times there aren't a lot of people going around the city. That's why.
That's as good a reason as any. And now let's take a look at that roundabout. The first president of Mozambique after the country gained its independence in 1975 from Portugal, and naturally he is in the principal roundabout of Maputo. Well, once again, I've been recruited to take the photo because I'm holding the camera. If you say that I can take your picture, okay, hello there, okay.
I've got this. This is an elephant. We made about wax. This is a giraffe.
And sometimes when I'm meeting you, I'm just trying to fall in. Hey, bye bye, my friend, bye.
This is a giraffe.
I am impressed by his persistence.
Yeah.
This is the fourth time that we've met along the streets of Maputo. And I mean, I admire your persistence.
Yeah.
I admire his art. It's not because he isn't a talented artist, but I've just got nowhere to put it. King Pie. Yes, there are a lot of tired buildings in Maputo. Most of them tend to be residential. However, there has been an influx of foreign investment into Mozambique, particularly from China, during these past 10 years, giving the city a revitalization. Let's not forget, though, that Mozambique is a Marxist-Leninist country with revolutionary roots. the intersection of East Timor, a previous Portuguese colony, and Samora Machel, that first president of Mozambique, is the 18th century Portuguese Fortaleza. Inside this 2-century-old historical relic contains the history of Mozambique from colonization to independence. Of all the art pieces in the fort, my personal favorite is this sculpture depicting the scene of an emperor of Gaza province north of Maputo who was captured by the Portuguese before the emperor was sent into exile in Portugal in the late 19th century. Historically, what is the reason as to why Maputo is so clean and orderly?
So Maputo was the center of the capital of Mozambique before the independence. It was called the Lourenço Market. So I think that it started from this time to be a city clean and quiet. It was a Portuguese city, so they used to study to show us how to keep it clean and so quietly. We understand that it's very important to protect, preserve our history in Mozambique, so to share it with the international tourists.
Let's get an elevated view of the fortress and the city. If you're arriving from South Africa into Maputo by the buses, this is where you will be dropped off at the taxi rank outside of the fort. Cannons and crows. As pointed out by the crows, the mortars and the shells give the fort a real military authenticity. You learn something new every day. I didn't realize that 18th century forts had 20th century air conditioning. If we started this story about the orderliness of Maputo with a batch of bats, we will end this video with a battery or a battalion of cannons. Yeah, you know what? I just thought about it right now. This has been another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets. Local people, natural sounds, not a lot of money. From Maputo, Mozambique, and its quietness, thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. I did capitulate. I wound up buying this piece of art for 500 meticales, or about $7.50. And yes, I do have an African elephant motif.
Yeah.
Say, when you are traveling through Mozambique, thank you very much. When you are traveling through Mozambique, you know what? Spend just an extra day in Maputo. The city itself, it isn't spectacular, but because it is orderly, because it is clean, and because it is quiet, at least for a capital city, regardless of where on the planet, it gives you an opportunity to breathe, relax, and figure out your travel plans. In the meanwhile, of course, you know what to do with Bob. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's fade to well, my new purchase of the elephants.